Hey guys, welcome to the next episode of the Offsides and
The Otros podcast. In this episode, we will review the heroic performance of India in the fourth Test match against England. Talk about all the classic, comebacks and bravado showed by the Indian batters, and special mentions to Rishabh Pant as well coming out with an injured foot to bat, and of course talk in great detail about England and Joe Root's quest to becoming like the number two test or highest test run getter in the world, and along with Ben Stokes' all-round performance. Join us for this episode.
let's go. Hey Arvind,
Harshit,
how are you? Finally, something positive to talk about?
I'm smiling after a long time.
Me too. It did not seem quite like we'll be in this situation uh, like a
Oh my
couple of
God.
days ago, but
It, I mean,
I'm
honestly, had you asked me like at the beginning of our second innings, I was like, man, there is no way these guys are batting two sessions out. I mean,
especially after the two
or two
wickets
days
is
out.
over, right?
Exactly. The way the third test match ended didn't really give us the confidence, but adversity produces, great results, I think. So,
Yeah, what? Diamonds are formed under pressure, so it's that. So let's start
yeah,
from the
sure. I'd probably, yeah. I was gonna say I'd hold my verdict to, call anyone a diamond this point in time, but yeah,
no,
definitely feels good.
at least in the
Yeah.
context of this game. In the
Definitely
biggest
feels, definitely feels good. Like even sort of reminded me of like Sydney and like the BGT days. So I'd definitely take this.
like the funny part is at this point, anything good we do, anything bad we do, it's going to be compared to some BGT. It's either a winning
It's a,
BGT or a losing BGT.
yeah, that's an oh shit. No, I was gonna say it's iconic. It's that the series in itself was very iconic. The way we literally like fought our battles and won it. So
Yeah.
it's about do that we make that comparison.
But at some point we need to stop doing it.
Get to
But
reality and be like, no, yeah,
yeah,
right.
but let's go from the beginning. England, have we even won a single toss?
So I don't know. We suddenly so for the record, I think this is the 14th toss we lost, and the odds of that happening is like I don't know. I read this somewhere 31 in 32,000 or something. I'm like, wow.
I I remember something similar for Rohit Sharma as well, where he lost some 12, 13 tosses in a row, where the similar probabilities were getting thrown around.
I know, but
I
it's
think,
sort of weird
no,
and
I think from
strange.
now, I think from now the captains need to practice the technique of tossing the coin.
I mean, but yeah, right. Yeah, they need to probably do that as well. But in this series, it's just been Gill who's been calling it, right? The home captain has been, spinning it. So yeah, I think
Man,
Gill also mentioned this in the post-match conference, saying that he probably, and that's the only thing that's sort of worrying him, or that's the only thing that's on his mind. I'm like, yeah, sure.
I mean, yeah, because essentially England went back to their original plan of kind of chasing everything, so they wanted to send
So true,
India
true.
into bat first.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, what did you think about how we started the first innings?
Uh, I think we started great. I was just looking at like the scorecard. I think the opening wicket fell at like 94 for one or something.
Yeah,
Since because I've been shouting this out in all our previous videos, they somehow managed and weathered the storm and got two lunch without losing a wicket. In the
that's true.
first innings, first day. If only they had repeated it, more often. But I think we've been honestly throughout the season, throughout this tournament, we've been getting to good starts, like good, decent. Maybe is the lowest we have ever fallen in the sense.
Maybe no. I don't think we've always had good starts, but whenever our batting seemed to have clicked, we somehow seem to have at least one of the two openers going big.
True.
Most of the times, both of our openers kind of getting to those 40, 50 level scores,
Correct.
right?
And yeah, exactly. Well said. So. I was sort of happy with the sense that, Jaiswal got to a 50. He, again, as usual, I think I felt he could have got a lot more, but then somehow gave away his wicket, threw away his wicket for a.
It did not seem like he still threw away the wicket. Like I still felt like that was the very corridor of uncertainty kind of a delivery by Dawson. Was it Dawson or
Yeah,
Lawson?
it was Dawson. Yeah, yeah.
Dawson. Yeah. He pitched it right in the right spot, right line as
The
well. Where
only
he
time he did during the entire match.
That's true. That's true though. That's true though. But I mean, he did that pretty well, and then Jaiswal was definitely drawn into that defense, and then the ball
Yep, yep, yep.
he expected the ball to spin. It did not spin.
Yeah.
Surprise, surprise. But and then he got out. I think more than Yashasvi's wicket, I have a feeling you're more disappointed with Rahul's wicket. Could you please elaborate your thoughts on that?
I mean, yeah, sort of my complaint slash gripe with KL. He looks so solid. He arguably is probably the most solid, like has the most solid defense in the entire team. Even I think his technique triumphs, Gills. But then, dude, come on, hit like, big 50s, big hundreds. Don't bundle away. Like, my complaint gripe with him is, yeah, like you are probably one of the top three run getters. All that is fine, but go on to make those big like daddy hundreds. When will he ever do that? That's my like. I want to see him do that as a fan. Like not because I have anything against him, but it's about time that he does that. But on the same note, I would also call out the fact that overall, until now, he has always been like has faded away as the series or the tournament has progressed. That's true. Hopefully, we've not jinxed it. So far, he's been at least like, scoring 40 odd, every innings of his, which actually is giving us a good solid start, or a platform to build on. So, we'll definitely take that.
Actually, the fact that Yashasvi's form has sort of tailed off in the second half of the series,
Correct.
KL Rahul's form being good has kind of kept that balance
Momentum
up.
going, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because if both of them had those rough patches, then it was definitely curtains for this Indian
For
team.
sure. Yep, for sure.
After KL looking good. See, overall, one thing is like actually when I was looking at the stats,
Hmm.
KL does not maybe have as many hundreds. KL does not have as many fifties. Like from a player who's classed as one of the best technically or one of the most classiest players in his Indian
Yep.
generation.
Hmm.
I a lot of that has to do with such dismissals. In the series itself, although he has 200s, he scored a 40 odd in the first test. He scored a 40 odd in the first innings of this test. He scored 39 in the last test. He scored, I think, 90, whatever, 89, 90 odd in the second innings.
Right.
All of them should either have been a 50 or a 100. Like he is kind of falling away so close. So from a stats perspective, it doesn't look that great. It's gonna look like, oh, that guy did not got bad like 200, which is good, but he could have scored more. But on the flip side, you see a Shubman Gill, like he scored like
Hmm.
400s, and then everybody's gonna go gaga over him. See, that's the point. I believe that KL maybe should. I don't know. See, I think we are now nitpicking to the point where earlier we were like, okay, he'll score 100 in the first game. Then I think he's gonna pretty much tank. But the fact that he's kept his form up and he's been one of the top run getters for India, and I think he's reaching records which are rivaling that of Gavaskar and all in terms of overseas
Yeah.
I mean,
As he's
50s and
already scored, yeah, 511 runs in this test series,
exactly
averaging almost 64. So pretty
as an
solid.
opener, that's like a big record.
Pretty solid,
But
yeah.
now I think we are wanting that next step from him where like he kind of makes his form count. He's
Hmm.
worked hard to get that 40 odd. He needs to make that a 50, and then he's worked hard to get that
So
70 odd, get that 100, and so on. But what did you have to say about your choice for India's number three?
no, I'm glad that Sai Sudarshan. I would say got his chance, and he definitely made the most out of it. Of course, he was like top scorer in the innings, as always, as I keep complaining. He could have probably gone on and like scored more, but it was definitely like a proper number three, test match number three innings where he, came and like sawed the ball. Sure, he did look edgy and twitchy at times. He did get beat a lot of times, but then
One
ultimately.
life down the leg side.
Yeah, sure. Like, but ultimately, like, what, 61 of like 151 balls, that's a proper like test match innings. You battle like 25 overs. That's solid. And hopefully it gives him the sort of the confidence to go and like build on. So
You know what he is missing. He needs to practice this. The ball here,
oh, dude,
and then a
that's
hook.
been all over
Shot.
the social media. Has been mocked on it, mocked for it. I'm like, I mean, dude, whatever. Like, I don't care. Do headstands as long as that you go and score actual runs for us. Yeah, that's like I don't know manifestation or envisioning. I don't know what he's been
Whatever.
doing. I hope he goes on to score like 100 or a 200, and like the interviewer could be like, hey, dude, what is it that you do, like you know.
Man,
Uh,
I actually, whatever he did, I don't know if it helps, how much it helps, whatever it does, but I would like to, at least for the sake of a young cricketer, right? I would want to see him succeed so that people can focus on his game rather than the other antics.
no,
Everybody
for
has
sure.
it,
Yep.
man. But again, you very perfectly put. He got that 60. He should have scored. He should have scored
He
that.
definitely would have scored more. Yeah.
But Shubman Gill, number four, and who gets him out? Ben Stokes. We don't even need to like talk about that guy. He's a maniac. I mean, that was such a beautiful ball, right? I mean, from that angle to pitch, and then the ball actually comes in. Like Shubman Gill had no clue in the first innings. He just let the ball go.
I Yeah, I was so fearful going into this test match, and when he got on to bat, be like. My main question was which Shubman Gill are we going to see? Are we going to see the Shubman Gill of the first two test matches in like first four innings, or the Shubman Gill of the old times who's like trying to cut the ball or slash it and like bring the bat round arm and give all the time and space for the ball to get in. But yeah, disappointing for sure. Again,
He actually
this
looked
wicket.
good. He actually looked good till that point. I mean, whatever 15 runs, however good you
Yeah,
can
12
look.
odd runs that he scored. He did score a boundary. I'm sure that boundary was probably not down the ground and
Yeah.
did look good or glorious. But yeah, I mean, we come to it, but I think he sort of compensated it in the second innings, but should have definitely, had a better first innings.
Yeah, I think in the first innings, it's not like any batsman in that top order, including the ones that came after him, looked troubled. They did. I mean, definitely to Yashasvi and KL, I think England bowled really well. I'm sure there were a dozen plays and misses where they were literally like defending and Box's ball is like moving, jagging all over, and then Yashasvi is missing. I think the first over or something he played and missed at one. So I remember like there were so many. They were definitely lucky to not nick one, but I think in English conditions, when they are proper English conditions with a lot of seam and swing, you do need that slice of luck as a batsman.
For sure, no,
But,
always. That's true
but
about most innings.
having said, a lot of almost all of them got starts. Like they did get starts. It's the difference of converting those into
A
big hundreds.
bigger
You
score, agreed. Yeah.
you know there were like in the post match whatever press conference, Gautam Gambhir in his typical mic drop style where every answer to every question is a mic drop, a question, and then he's like whatever. So he was answering. There was a question saying, "This team is in transition. What do you have to say? How were they performing?" He actually, in all of his antics, brought one good thing, saying, "I won't think about this team as transition, old versus new. I would completely put everything down to experience versus inexperience. This team is still inexperienced. They're very talented. They're probably the best 18 that we have in the squad, but they're inexperienced. They're going to learn from this." So I think that is a very key point in that all of these players who are getting those starts, who are looking $1 million, who are looking so solid, with experience, maybe they will cut out the mistakes that they're making and maybe go on to score big. I mean,
I
that's the
hope
hope, right?
I hope, and it's also a good statement to actually go out and say in the public. It definitely shows, gives out that sort of vote of confidence for the players and the squad, in next thing that they know that their head coach and the team man like backs them. So that's definitely a, a good or a wise thing to say, especially to help sort of the, psyche or morale of the player.
Agreed. I mean, after that, I was actually kind of a bit scared about where India would go, having been put into bat and losing the top kind of 3 wickets. But
Hmm.
I thought Pant and Sai kind of brought back the momentum into the innings beautifully. I even remember texting you saying the way they are looking, if they can get to the end of this session and do well, and India is in a great spot. But
You should not have said that. Mentioning end of sessions, these people fret and lose it. I
oh
have
man.
no idea what happens when they hear or know about it, but yeah.
Oh man, but I mean, I have a bone to pick with Rishabh, dude. I mean, I understand he's a maverick. I understand he likes to kind of attack. I understand he plays unorthodox shots. But everybody is gonna look at the bravery that he showed about having a broken toe or broken foot, going out,
It's coming out the
and
bat,
then
yeah.
coming back, facing the heat, facing bowlers like Jofra Archer, Ben Stokes, who's in his prime, and then kind of scoring those 50 odd runs for the team where he kind of pushed that envelope further. But the thing that all of this masks is it was a stupid, there is no other word, it is a stupid reverse sweep of a Yorker by B- Chris Wokes that brought this on himself. And I honestly think he was very lucky to have underedged that ball, because he was gone for all money. I
Oh,
mean,
for sure.
I understand you wanting to charge. I understand your paddle, whatever, like falling scoops. I understand the aggressive shots you play.
It's
But
definitely poor choice selection for the ball that he got.
I mean, you're on top. You have the momentum with you. Like, play aggressive. I have no problems with that. But this is a shot which playing in a T20 also you'll think thrice.
Oh,
I mean,
agreed.
I don't
I,
know,
I don't
man.
know.
I mean,
He probably have like premeditated the thought to an extent that
he
he had
should
already made up his mind, like to an extent that he didn't even gauge the kind of delivery he was getting to, even qualify it right foot to play that shot. But yeah, that's Pant. He's definitely learning it the hard way. I'm sure he's probably, hopefully, not going to ever repeat this. But uh,
I am not at all as hopeful as you.
old habits die hard, huh? But
No, but
yeah,
see,
it's
I think it is that maverick in him which brings that, makes him that X Factor player. But
correct.
I don't know at what point do you justify somebody being a maverick as, hey, he's a maverick, versus you say there are some mistakes that you are making, you just have to cut them out. I don't know
Yeah,
at what point do you draw that line.
I think it's just the what do you call? It's like the pros outweigh the cons. He is in the team for that very reason. So, and he has to be sort of, accepted as a whole package, meaning, with all of that, all of the, the explosive batting that comes with him, and so will, this behavior and eccentricity will come along.
His behavior.
Just sort of, we'll have to take it. He's a whole package in itself. We cannot like pick and choose what features you get and like turn off the others. Uh,
Oh
no,
man.
I feel your gripe. The fact that I probably have accepted the fact that this is fun, this is what you get out of him. He will do probably the most stupidest thing and then rescue you out of nowhere, in terms of dire need. So yeah, we'll have to take it. Of course, it's unfortunate he's probably going to be out for 6 to 8 weeks. I mean we can talk about that with probably when we review, the third test, but he'll be missed is my honest opinion, because what he brings to this team, especially with sort of that. fast, explosive tempo setting or tempo changing or, an impact introducing kind of style that sort of changes the course of the game phase and, session. That aspect is probably what we are going to miss. If you take Pant out of this team, probably the rest of the top five, top six are pretty like classic old school test match players, which is great, which is what we want. What sort of completed the jigsaw puzzle, in my opinion, was Pant being there and bringing the dynamism in, which is probably what we would miss, and hopefully we don't miss it to an extent that that sort of causes us. But we'll see.
Hey, it's gonna give an opportunity to a player whom I'm sure you've gone to temples, you've lit candles, you prayed to the god that gets an opportunity. I think it is your players' prayers that have kind of
I've
manifested in
manifested
this way.
this, yeah,
Yeah.
manifested this.
Did you also do the right-handed shot, ball, and all of that to
I don't
for
know, bro.
Junaid to
I wore gloves and batted like him. Uh, yeah, we'll see. But
but
honestly, this is not the first time Dhruv Jurel will be replacing an injured Pant. Or yeah, so
that's true. The last
and the
time he
last time he
played
did
was
also against England, he scored like a 90
correct.
odd. So I'm hoping he comes good.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, he did make that difference. He was actually like a solid replacement and he scored. Maybe this is that opportunity that he needs to maybe
Yep,
show that he's ready given the
I agree.
opportunity.
Yeah, I agree exactly.
Uh, sure, but I mean, India, I mean, I think that sort of shifted the momentum once, whatever, injury kind of
Dismissal. Oh
shifted
yeah,
towards England, where like Rishabh Pant got injured and then Sai Sudarshan kind of lost his concentration,
yep.
as every Indian batsman does before a break, and then he gave his wicket away. That was, I don't know. But
Silly. Yeah.
actually, now that brings into question the
Mm-hmm.
next partnership, which was again Jadeja and Shardul Thakur.
Saddle
Now,
Tucker.
in the context of the game, he scored a 40 odd. He
Mm-hmm.
looked good. He definitely like, did the job that he was supposed to do. But what are your views on him playing in that position and his role in this?
I think what I wow, I was like he in my very honest opinion, Shardul Thakur has to be treated as a bowling all rounder, not a batting all rounder. And his Sure, he scored some runs which came to our rescue. Great, we'll take it. But honestly, that is not his primary or should not be his primary role in the team. If he scores some runs, great bonus. But his primary role in the team should definitely be sort of bowling and sharing sort of the workload off of our, sort of tier one bowlers. And yeah, I'm sort of sorry to say if he's not doing that, or, I wouldn't say he's not doing that. If the team doesn't trust him enough as much, and it's just probably, let me scroll down and see, it's probably given what, 12, 11 overs. And of course, he did get beat for runs, 11 overs in entire test match, where others were being bowled like over 20 overs, 25 overs. We are probably wasting a slot in the team for a better sort of attacking slash wicket taking bowler than Thakur, who's not really doing much with the ball. I
You
think we
know,
have
it's yeah. Go
enough.
on, go on. Finish your point.
No, I was going to say we don't need his batting. To be honest, like the fact that we are pushed to think we need an extra batter or a batting padded team until like number 10 somehow shows we are either defensive or sort of not so sure about our batting prowess, and that should not be the case. We have seen enough, and we should definitely bank on a more like an attacking uh baller per se, who's who
Like
definitely, because ultimately we need players who can take us 20 wickets. That is what is going to win you the test match. So uh
like that is so interesting. Since the beginning of the series, the general conversation or the general comments in media from the Indian team has been that we want a bowling attack which can take 20 wickets. We want a bowling attack which can
yep.
take 20 wickets. have they taken, like, have they looked like taking 20 wickets? No.
Yeah,
I
not really,
mean, they have
unfortunately.
honestly looked very pedestrian. The moment things kind of get a little tough, they sort of. Actually, that is unfair. In the last three tests, at least they showed the fight to bring the game back when things were
So
going south. In this test, I mean, they just looked like they were spent. Like the energy was gone. Uh,
exactly, the energy was gone. It was already like what, fourth test match, and the, call it irony or call it the extent of test match and sessions they have played. Literally every game, every test match has gone to day five, session three. So it just means that we have maximized, like, squeeze every ounce of juice that is possible out of each of these players. So
yeah.
this is bound to happen. And the fact that we overall do not have like a tight bowling sort of squad, or, as they call it, pace bowling battery enough to, to cover for such sort of first cases in exigency. Still shows that, we have some scope to work on, and, rope in players who can better do this. That is definitely in sort of an opportunity, for us.
I mean, it sort of builds into the second innings of the Indian team, or second innings of the match where it's the first
Hmm.
innings of England. But before that, I think there are a couple of points which we need to address. First is definitely, like, I have criticized Pant. I need to give him the due respect or
So
the
it's a
salute he deserves
sure
for,
bravado, yeah.
yeah, for coming out with that broken foot, facing the pace bowlers, and then actually scoring a 50. Like,
Hmm.
that's definitely a
Agree.
big deal, and it should not go unnoticed that as a vice captain, he set the precedence to say, no matter the situation, I'm going to fight for my team, which is, I mean, indirectly maybe something what the other batsmen also showed in the second innings. But that was definitely great to see the vice captain of the team setting that example. And yeah, please finish the point. Yeah, if you had any.
No, I was going to say, you put it, you summarized it very, excellently well. Definitely, again, sends out a statement to the team saying that, hey, like, if the team needs me, even like a half month will, sort of come stand for you and, fight it out. So that is, yeah, that is punk. I honestly, I don't know if and someone else would have or could have done that. Uh, the fact that he has sort of been through this earlier, and, sort of unfortunate incident to
Yeah.
quote, maybe might have also just given him sort of that mental strength and fortitude, and be like, hey, I've, probably like seen death as close as it can get, and, if that hasn't
Wow.
stopped me, this definitely doesn't stop me either. Yeah, it's sort of, difficult to, sort of summarize this any further. Yeah, valiant effort to, really come
That's
and
actually a good point. That's actually a good point that you brought up. I was somehow not, I mean, it was very obvious I should have thought about that, but I was somehow not thinking that way. I was more
no,
invested in the
yeah.
moment, but when you kind of take a 100-foot view, that kind of makes sense. Now, for the other thing that we want to talk about, I
Hmm.
have unabashedly been so effusive of a certain Ben Stokes. I don't want to be the one again beating his drum. I would like you to summarize what you felt about him, because I think at this point I don't have much to say about how good he is. I mean, I think I've just run out of words.
He is, yeah, exactly. I mean, he's man for the sort of occasion, and man for, he's sort of the go-to guy. He does it. He does everything. He, and Lord Sisman sort of summarized it. He did it with the ball, bat, and in the field. And, again, whenever you need like crucial breakthroughs, or, partnership that have been building and they want to break through, or someone to come, break the momentum. No one else has been able to, trouble us or Indian batters as much as, Ben Stokes has been able to do that. And probably I'm jumping the gun here. Um, the the sort of spell he bowled in the second innings
Or the
made
last.
me feel like, of the second, second innings of the made me feel like, dude, is he really bowling on this pitch, or is he really like using a different kind of a ball? Like, the thing that he made the ball do, and, get that extra purchase of that pretty flat, dead, dry surface was amazing. Like the fact that no one else, and yeah, we probably have to agree and accept the fact that even Bumrah couldn't do as much for arguable
Yep.
reasons. He was probably, running out of steam, gas, whatever it is. The fact that he could actually, make it do as much and, speak as much, uh, just shows how good is probably an understatement, how great he is. And again, added to the fact that he himself has been nursing an injury, has probably not bowled enough as much in the lead up to this test series.
He hasn't bowled at all.
Shows,
Like
yeah,
he hasn't
exactly.
bowled at
Shows the fact that, man, he's sort of he's being a true leader or captain who sort of leads by an example. And he even mentioned that in the post match, I think, saying that, hey, if I expect my team to run through a wall, I need to do it myself first to sort of set that example before I expect it out of them. So I mean,
all. I mean, if like I'd like to sum up that all what you said in one statement. The one player that I'm jealous is in my team and in the other team is Ben Stokes.
oh
Like
wow,
that's
yeah,
about it.
he is definitely
Because
one player you would want in your team. Yep.
no matter how cocky he is, no matter the antics that he did in the second innings, whatever, we'll get to that. But from a sheer personality perspective, he's one
Mhm.
player that I'm definitely jealous
Yeah,
he's not
hands
in
down.
our
I
team.
no two doubts about it. Yep.
Man, that was something to see him bowl that way, and like in a on a wicket where nobody else was able to get even good bounce out of it. He got
Right.
two batsmen caught with short balls in the boundary where he set the field, he executed it perfectly, and frankly, he should have gotten Sai Sudarshan earlier with his earlier ploy of getting him
So
down the leg side. So that guy, he just, yeah, it seems like under pressure he definitely turns it on, and he
yep.
has that skill set to back his mental ability to kind of turn up in those moments. But all in all, did you think like 360 was a good score? I definitely did.
I honestly, as usual, I did feel it was a good score, and again, I did also feel, for some time that, as I've been probably calling this out, we probably could have gone on and scored a bit more. The kind of start we had, or at least until the middle order, course, before sort of, things sort of went haywire, we could have at least got 400, 450. But again, overall in this pitch, and given we did definitely have to see out the first couple of sessions and, whatsoever the pitch had to offer for the bowlers, it did feel good. Feel good or feel, sort of comfortable to, say that, yeah, we probably have enough to, go after, England and probably, defend this for the first innings.
That is because we expected our bowling to be much
Oh my
better than
God.
what it eventually turned out to be. Let's start the uh, BB bowler bashing now. Would you like to start? Round one.
What- And I'd probably turn the mic to you and be like, you take this. There isn't much I can. I definitely can't make this any more like humorous or any more of a light moment out of it. It was a complete bashing for sure. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, given the fact that we definitely looked out of gas, but the fact that they just like took us to the cleaners, oh man, 669, that's like highest total in the entire series so far is crazy to imagine.
So, like a couple of things. Like there is one thing which I have been thinking about, and I wanted to bring it up, but honestly, our bowling has delivered so well in the first three tests. The topic that I wanted to bring up was never a conversation point. Was that if you look at a Ben Duckett and a Zach Crawley, they're not only a lefty righty combination at the top of the order, they are also a tall and short combination at the top of the order. So effectively, you have a Duckett who likes width and he likes short balls or on his body anything short he has good prowess in terms of getting it away. If you think about and being short, most of the good length balls or back of a length balls will be shorter to him. Zach
Exactly.
Crawley, on the other hand, is tall and he loves playing off his pads or drives. Like he likes fuller deliveries. Now, if you think about it, from a bowling team's perspective, if you're not on point, if you're not absolutely locked in, you have to change your line as well as length according to the batsman that is on
To
strike, and
make
neither
it,
of them is
yep,
defensive. And neither of them is defensive. Both of them are gonna go for it from ball one. So you
they were
earn
taking us
your,
through, yeah.
yeah, any of your line or length, they're gonna make you pay. I felt it was like a perfect storm of this ability or this kind of situation that England had, plus the fact that the Indian bowlers just were all over the place. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen Bumrah bowl so within himself, bowling all over the place. He definitely did not seem threatening at all. Like he was very toothless, and the biggest disappointment was I definitely Anshul Kamboj, man. I mean, we expected so much out of him. I mean, it is actually partly our fault that he's a young player playing his first test match.
Mhm.
But like, did you
I
expect him,
was,
or did you accept him being as bad as he was?
um, I didn't, I didn't expect for sure, but in retrospect, when I was trying to take a, take a breather and be like, okay, what happened? What went wrong? Uh, Couple of things, right? One, and I was also reading about this online. He hadn't played like a competitive game after the India A England versus England Lions sort of opening to practice test matches. And apparently, after the test match or the first two practice tests, he picked up a niggle and he was sort of nursing it for the next 30 odd days. So making him even more rusty and sort of lacking match fitness or match practice. That's one. Two is, uh, you know, arguably there is an element of, being, travel fatigued and jet lag. He was flown out between or after the third test match. And again, probably didn't really have more than, 2 to 3 practice sessions to come in and sort of, get into the rhythm. Also probably why he was seen bowling in like sub 120s, which is what bowlers usually do as warm-up deliveries or just to try to get into the rhythm and set their line and length. So sure, I'm being a bit defensive about him, but that's also the fact of the matter, right? He is playing his first test match. He's I would still probably vouch for him and say that he has good potential. That sort of needs to be groomed and worked upon. Yeah, the probably it was not the best test debut one might imagine or want to have, and of course, circumstances leading up to it. And having said all that, yeah, he probably took as much beating as well, and didn't really look potent. So he got Ben Duckett's wicket. That's something to take credit for. But other than that, yeah, he didn't look any menacing or any which way troubling the England batters.
I mean, I don't have anything to add. I think you kind of pretty much summed up the positives, the
Yeah.
negatives, everything about him. And yeah, I mean, rightly so. The only thing this wants me to question is Arshdeep is injured, Akashdeep is injured, Prasid you don't trust because he has not looked good in this series,
Mhm.
let's say. Anshul Kamboj has come from India like maybe few couple of days ago. He has all of this backdrop that you mentioned about jet lag, travel, fatigue, injury, everything. If you are not confident about your a pacer, like no matter what, is it almost, how do I put this? Just for showing that when you're playing in England, you're going in with three pacers. Is that the reason why you're playing a pacer? Why couldn't you play a certain Kuldeep Yadav in the squad, who's been with the squad, who has definitely, apparently, he's looked much better in the nets recently. Originally, maybe there were some fitness concerns about him, but he looked
Mhm.
good. Like, what is stopping you from playing him? Because it's definitely better than playing an unfit or a low on confidence
It's
bowler, right?
no, I agree.
Like, isn't that
Uh,
how do I describe common sense? that you will play a bowler who's confident versus somebody
No,
who's
no.
either unfit or like not confident.
Yeah, it's whatever we've been doing probably goes against the conventional wisdom. But the fact that Kuldeep can't bat, unfortunately, has been his biggest and probably only undoing. Like there is no reason. The fact that the team management probably doesn't trust our batting skills as much enough is also another, sort of a driver for it. The fact that we
No,
feel
that's
only
true. But
comfortable when we have batting until like number 8 or number 9. Uh, that I don't. How do I say? I'm not aligned with this thought. I definitely after this test match will vouch for an attacking wicket-taking bowler more so than ever. Uh, but that's the reasoning out there. That's pretty much, as I say, the writing in the wall is the fact that he can't bat. I don't know. If I were Kuldeep, honestly, if I were Kuldeep, I would go like put double the time honing my batting skills now to like crack into this team. And this is difficult. This is unfortunate but bitter truth of you know of getting into this Indian lineup. Like you,
no,
unless you are,
that no, that makes sense. See, I'm not going as high as saying you replace Shardul with Kuldeep. Ideally, that's what they should do. But I'm like, fine. You're not you want that batting cushion with Shardul. That's fine. But
yeah,
like Anshul Kamboj, see, he might become a good all rounder. He might be good in batting. It's fair. I mean, I'm not questioning his batting prowess. But
Mhm.
you are pretty much going in with three batters in every game. You've gone with three bowlers in every game who can't bat. Like that's just kind of the acceptance. So you've gone in with eight people who can bat decently well. I am just asking you to replace one of those three with Kuldeep in this game.
Yeah,
I'm not
no, I
even
agree.
questioning why they didn't play him in the previous test because the bowlers that they picked in his place, maybe an Akashdeep or maybe like Prasidh Krishna had an off time, but coming the hype, I won't say hype, coming the form that he came in with, probably it was justified to give him that opportunity. But
Sure.
everything else was fine. When you have an unfit bowler, instead of playing an unfit bowler, why not play a fit bowler? Like that's kind of the only question I have. But um,
Fair question.
I mean, bygones are bygones. We can't really change anything. But uh, given the team that we picked, I think there was a stat which I read about what the average number of wickets per innings or per I mean time they kind of come onto the field is from the Indian
Mhm.
bowlers perspective. Definitely people who played a certain number of games or internationally, Siraj has one of the lowest number of wickets per innings as an average. Like if you think he takes about like to 1 point something 8 or something wickets per innings, that
Mhm.
what I'm trying to get to is if you do not have a Bumrah, Siraj definitely is not an enforcer. He's not a wicket taker. He can be that
Yeah.
bowler who maybe supports or keeps things quiet. And in this innings, he didn't even do that. He got smacked around. But maybe that is just down to tiredness, mental, physical tiredness. But he is definitely not a wicket taker. So if you are kind of relying absolutely on a Bumrah who is definitely not the fittest at this point because you can see the injury concerns and the way we are kind of wrapping him in cotton wool, it makes me think you need a bowler who can, like a Jofra Archer, like somebody who cannot bowl long spells. Like that's a given. He can only bowl 4 or 5 overs, but the 4 or 5 overs that he bowls, he can potentially take a wicket, turn the game, take
Yep.
a catch, turn the game, do something and turn the game. Like I think
Mhm.
we need to really invest in somebody like that. I mean, if nothing else, the English innings showed us that. I mean, that was hapless from us. I mean, did the funniest thing in all of this is, I mean, Duckett played beautifully, Crawley played beautifully, Pope played beautifully, Root showed why he's number two in the all-time run scorers. We'll definitely get to it. Stokes played beautifully. The one player I'm kind of happy, I'm sad and happy who did not perform. I am sad that Brook did not perform because I had touted him to be one of their stalwarts at the beginning of the series. I'm like, damn, my prediction is going wrong. But I'm happy because of the shit that he spoke before, saying, oh, like they're scared of us. That's why they're setting 600 as a total. We're going to easily win this. There's nothing in this Indian team. And then all of the other talk that he's doing on the pitch, like in the stump mic. I'm so happy that he got out for two because I don't want another guy like kind of bad mouthing in a situation when we are already down because our team there was nothing to be positive about in that innings according to me for our bowling attack.
Yeah, it's.
I
I
mean,
mean, you sort of bring up a good segue. Yeah, sure. I'm definitely happy that Harry Brook got out sooner than later. Didn't really get going, and he got a very good delivery from Washington Sundar. Like drifted
yeah.
and went outside. Um, the segue I was trying to get to is the fact that even Washington Sundar, who went on to bowl like 28 overs in that innings, was also introduced only after the 65th over of the innings.
Yeah.
Again, just an highlight to the fact that we have so many ballers, quote unquote ballers, like six of them at least on paper that is at the captain's disposal and to use. And the fact that you bring, of course, he's not like a wicket taking or a primary bowler yet, but he started to look pretty reliable, consistently well. And especially after the spell he had in Lords. I felt that he could have probably been brought on earlier. And, even if it is to test the waters, and, probably something that could change or hopefully changes in the coming test matches. But I would have wished and hoped that, maybe Washi and when he came on, he did get us like two good or two quick wickets almost over the span of 3 or 4 overs, which seemed to be good breakthroughs at that point in time before, of course, Root and like Stokes just took the game away from us. But the point being, uh, if you really want like bowling all rounders in your team or batting all rounders in your team, might as well use them. There is and the fact that Bumrah and both Siraj, like as you summarized, like looked toothless, you had to had to try something different, and could have tried something earlier as well. But having said all that, I think we should acknowledge the fact that Gill is sort of an early captain. He's still learning the trade. So I would not be as critical, but just an highlight to the fact that hey, we should, if we have as much resources at our disposal, might as well try to sort of use them more, more better, like or earlier.
um I mean, I think the problem is not about using the resources better. It's just about like seven bowlers for a test match or six bowlers, whatever, in a test match. I don't think is necessary. You go in with five, you bowl two at a time. Maybe you have a couple of spinners in them to kind of rest your pacers, to kind of recharge, let them get their energy back so that they can have those big spells. And like five proper bowlers. I'm not talking about five part-time bowlers. Five proper bowlers is what a team needs. And then you have proper batsmen. And the big advantage India now has is that uh, Washington and Jadeja are looking like batsmen. They're looking. I mean,
They
Jadeja
are
is.
proper
I
batters
think.
in the team. They
Yeah,
slot in
yeah,
as batting all-rounders.
yeah. I mean, I don't want to say. Yeah, I mean, essentially they are. I'll say Jadeja is like that perfect all-rounder who's the first spinner that you're gonna play in this team. He is that
For
batsman
sure.
who's been. I mean, if you cannot trust his reliability as a batsman now, I don't think you'll ever trust his reliability because in the four tests he's
For sure.
delivered in every one of them. Like he's been that. So if not now, when are you going to take that risk by taking wicket taking bowlers? But now having had our fill with the Indian bowler bashing, I think we definitely should give credit to the English batting order because they have. It shouldn't go unnoticed that they definitely showed skill, grit, determination, and like a lot more things to put that mammoth score up. It's not just because our bowling was poor, right?
For sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean,
I was,
Firstly, Zach Crawley from, yeah. Sorry, you were saying something. Go on.
no, no, go for it.
Yeah, I mean, I was saying the first time after the first test, Zach Crawley looked good. Like he had an innings of 80 odd. I thought he definitely. There were so many questions about him. I think he kind of put them to rest for the time being with that innings.
He definitely did. Again, yeah, I was going to say, overall, I'm still not very convinced with Zach Crawley as a whole. But this innings has definitely rescued and fended off some of the questions that's been following in for some time, at least for a couple of test matches more. Uh, what sort of got me was of the two, Zach Crawley and Ben Duckett. Zach Crawley is supposed to be the more slow, sort of, more sort of, conventional test batter as compared to Ben Duckett. But Zach Crawley as well was scoring at a great, like great strike rate, almost 75 as I see it here, which it sort of, irks me more saying like, dude, like one, I don't like you batting, scoring runs. And the fact that you are scoring it such a sort of, high strike rate also gets to me. But again, they sort of had the perfect start. What 165 runs partnership? Man, what could you ask more, right? Especially when you had a deficit of almost 360 runs to get to. 166 just took away almost half of it and like set up the tone and pace, which to our dismay, just provided a good platform for the other middle order to, come build the mammoth total upon.
And I mean, I remember talking at the beginning of the series, who's the highest run scorer against India? It's Joe Root. He finally he's showing his class, right? I think from 2020 or post COVID to now, he has some
Post-COVID,
2100s, which is
7100s, yeah.
mind the vein of form that he has. Honestly speaking, that those are Virat Kohli esque numbers in that, like in his pomp, right? I mean, in 20 whatever 17 or 16 to, or actually 14 to 19, Virat Kohli, where he was at his prime, like scoring hundreds every time he took the field. Joe Root is in that level league. I'm definitely being second to Sachin Tendulkar in the all-time scorers list has to, yeah, I mean, it's justified, right?
I mean, yeah, no to that. Pure class. He's probably the most probably gentleman of a cricketer in that in that England side. Pure class. Doesn't run his mouth unnecessarily. Just focuses on his batting and keeps let his bat do the talking. And the only thing that sort of I'm sort of hesitant to even say this or mention this is the fact that, and this is by no means to take away any credit away from him. At least ever since like the baseball era, which is pretty much been like the last 4.5 or 5 years, all the pitches that they've been getting and making in England are pretty batting conducive. And the fact that he just went on and made or piled those runs there isn't surprising for a quality of a batter he is. Again, as I started with this, it probably end it with this saying that this is not to take anything away from him as a batter, but he just made, while they say make hay while sun shines, he just made the most out of it. Arguably than anyone else in the same era. So, yeah, that's apart from that, pure class. And honestly, I would even probably go on to say that he's very well poised to ultimately, finish his career as probably the highest test run getter ever. And I
Yeah.
think it's definitely sort of a moment to sort of, celebrate or acknowledge his sort of, legendary status as one of the
It's actually going to be super
better or
interesting
best
how he
batsmen.
delivers. No, it's gonna be super interesting to see how he plays in Australia. That's kind of like the next big milestone that he's shooting for,
Test.
right?
I know. Yeah.
Yeah. But
We'll see.
I mean, see,
The fact that he surpassed,
yeah, Sachin is,
no, I was
I'm
just going
not
to say
Sachin, Ponting.
he surpassed Dravid, Callis, and Ponting all in the same innings. Just showed that the kind of stack up there is leading up to the number one spot.
Yeah. I mean, I think if he ends up delivering in Australia, the same questions or the concerns that you raised about, like, baseball and the batting friendly pitches. I think
Pitches
that
being
kind of
very
goes
batting
away.
conducive, yeah.
That, yeah, I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
it
yeah,
kind of goes
for
away
sure.
when
Again, as I said, this takes away nothing from him, not even a run, not even a century. So the fact that he made the most of it also shows that hey, he still was the only one to do it as consistently. So
exactly. But I mean, won him, and then Ben Stokes. I think the last 100 he scored was 2 years ago. At
it
Lords,
seems
I
like
think
it, yeah.
against. From then, everybody. I don't think anybody was questioning it, but there were definitely murmurs about the fact that for the great all rounder that Stokes is and is being called, or the kind of hype that there is around him, his batting really hasn't delivered in a while. But he kind of emphatically put all of that away and became one of the only handful of players to actually pick like a fifer and score 100 in a single test match, which is, I mean,
Yeah.
the fun. I mean, the funniest thing in all of that is he became only a handful of players to do that, which is something extraordinary. But the fact that Sir Ian Botham has done that 5 times, I am like, only a handful of people have done that once, and somebody's done that 5 times. I mean, wow, that kind of made me think, wow, like that was something unbelievable. But
Oh no,
yeah, I
yeah,
think
sure.
he also got, I think, 200 wickets in 7,000 runs. Even that is like a feat only a few, like a handful of people, maybe two or three
Couple
have
of
done
them have achieved
before.
before this. Yes, yep.
Yeah. I mean,
I
it
think
is
it's like Jack
testament.
Callis and Gary Sober. So
If anybody is getting compared to Jack Callis or Gary Sobers in any aspect, you've definitely reached the uppermost echelons of what you're doing, right?
you,
That's
yeah, yeah. You know what? Before I sort of stop the flow, I just realized I was looking up, Jadeja's sort of, career statistics. He is in 6,947 runs now, and he has 330
oh
test wickets. The point I'm trying to get to
wow.
is he is next in line to, to achieve that feat and, sort of make his list up there. So,
I mean, the fact that Jadeja has been Jadeja and Stokes, I'll say, in this current generation have been probably the two. I mean, I'm sorry if I'm missing out on some other great all rounders in the world. I'm sure there are many. But to have that longevity and to have the ability to decide games on your own, the fact that these two
so
players have been doing this time after time, like, with their bat, ball, and the field, that's the interesting part, right? Both of them are extraordinary fielders. It tells you that no matter what you say, oh, easy era, good wickets, maybe conducive conditions, still the fact that only two have been able to do it tells you how difficult it is, right? To achieve those things. But I mean, Ben
no.
Stokes actually, I feel like when he is defending, he doesn't look as comfortable. The end of the third day, he was kind of defending and staying around. He was good, but not his best. But the moment in day four, once Dawson got out and Ben Stokes flicked that switch to go all headingly on us, man, that guy just kind of tore away the bowling, got to 140 of 190. He just broke the back of our bowling, I felt. And I mean, it was definitely something that, as an England supporter, you'll be very happy to see him do that, because probably he has bowled the most overs for England in this series, so he has definitely given
I
more
think
than
so
a
too.
share in bowling. But with the bat, he was probably lacking. This kind of bridges the gap, and yeah, I mean, that's, if there was any stone unturned on my end to praise him, I think this kind of
No,
completes the bucket.
so,
And
yep, no two
it
doubts about it.
it
It was
definitely
it, and just to call out the fact that he had also got himself retired hurt, and then he came back again.
correct,
Just a testament
correct.
to the sort of solid, solid sort of mental fortitude he has. and has been like fighting it out for for his team.
It's unbelievable. Like, I mean, it's definitely a salute to the fact that I mean, he scored those runs and took those wickets, but in all of that, never once kind of showed the fact that, oh, I'm in so much hardship. He definitely caught his hamstring and all a couple of times, but
Oh,
he
yeah,
was
yeah, of
definitely
course.
fighting it.
Yeah, no two doubts about it. That too. And the other thing I would like to, call out summing up the England innings is that Braden Cast coming at number 10 scored 47 of 54. Man, this guy, I think it's the second time for sure, probably the third time that he's come close to almost scoring a 50 and has been like a thorn for us. Like uh he I don't know. It's criminal in my mind to let like a number 10 batter, come and score almost a 50 for like second, third time in the test series. And overall, we have to do a better job cleaning up the tail. That's another thing we sort of have to work on, or it's probably an opportunity area. We many times do a good job curtailing the top order, but then leak runs towards the end. But yeah, all in all, like you know a team effort, I would say. A lot of them, most of the top four batters, top five batters contributed for England, and got to like a mammoth 669, which Normus had like with 311 odd runs lead.
Yeah.
Man, I by the time I had pretty much given up, I was like, man, this has gotten given up in the sense that there's probably a high chance or less chance for India to, get a win out of
No,
this.
you
They
don't have to
definitely had sort
sugarcoat.
of
You
battered
can
us out.
say no, no. You don't have to sugarcoat. You can say I had given up. I'm sure, honestly, most of the Indian fans at that point, given how we had crumbled under pressure in Lords, would have done so, which is fair.
No, yeah.
But I mean,
Yeah,
if
then
the small percent, 5% of people hadn't given up by that point, the 3 hours before lunch definitely made them give up. Like I am kind of sure.
definitely buried it for us. Worried it for us. Oh my God. Like that one thing that we've been, shouting out, be like, guys, like, please, please, please see out sessions. Like, please be sensible. Please don't try anything crazy. Just don't like make ordinary balls look world class and get twisted and turned inside out. But man, this again, unfortunately, I'm not targeting, Jaiswal, but this is definitely something that he needs to work on and get out of is when we need him, or, even in the Lord's run chase, he played pretty much like a stupid shot and like threw his wicket away. Of course, this ball definitely did much more, was definitely a challenging ball to sort of, defend and see through. But yeah, go
No,
for it.
that is no, I thought the same too. That it was actually a very good ball. That, oh man, he, like, I have defended him a couple of times to say, oh, the ball was really
Hmm.
good. It went across him. Oh, it jagged back. I was looking back at the highlights. It was a good ball. Like, I'm not gonna take that away from Woj
Yeah,
to say it
exactly.
was a very good ball where from around the wicket it kind of pitched and kind of made it difficult for him. But the thing that if you look at it closely, the previous ball, not the same but pretty similar, he defended it with his full face of his bat, like where he defended it. This ball was slightly towards middle and leg, and he actually closes the face of his bat. He tries to kind
Face of
of
the
play
bite,
a
yes.
flick or something, and then he takes a nick. I'm like, dude, 3 overs to go. You know, all they want is a wicket. I'm like, just play. It's okay. It's not your natural game. That's fine. It's 3 overs. Just play it out. Come back. You have 2 sessions today. You have 3 sessions tomorrow. Score a 200. Who's stopping you from doing that? But I mean, that's probably where the inexperience comes in, because at that point, when you know what you
Yeah.
should do, but then you up doing something else, it's, I don't know, man. I mean, it's happened a few too many times, I feel, in this series, where I feel it's kind of almost getting into his mind, where he's maybe trying to exert himself on the bowlers or trying to show his dominance. I don't know what's the thought process, but I can see a pattern, which is definitely something that is scary for Yashasvi as well.
For issues as well. Yeah, I mean, again, yeah, we might be a touch too critical about him, but it's all in a good sense, in the sense that hey, there is so much expected out of you, and there is so much talent in you. Better start making the most out of it. And there is still one more test match to go, and I'm very hopeful and certain that he'll sort of make amends or try to make amends, and deliver sort of a better result. But yeah, he seems to be someone who probably just needs like an arm around his shoulder, and not he's got so much class, so much ability. It is not that he doesn't know how to play. It's there's this sort of word in Hindi called tehra. He sort of just needs some amount of stillness to actually see through those sort of phases or sessions. Hey, a certain KL can help him do that. He seems to be pretty like monk or a sage-ish when it comes to the situations. Uh, but yeah.
Just a funny segue, just a one line segue. Who would have classed
Mhm.
KL with, or who would have compared KL to a monk after the Coffee with Karan interview KL and Hardik Pandya had, and the kind of things that were said? I mean, it's
No.
worlds apart, but I mean, very irrelevant. But just something that I
Yeah,
thought
no,
I
no, no.
should bring up.
Yeah, it's definitely a light moment. But that apart, look at him, look at KL. He definitely sort of, embodies that spirit. He is pretty much keeps to himself. He's quiet and calm, doesn't necessarily show any form of aggression. That is markers for, being a monk. But anyways, or probably, he likes old monk better. So, you never know.
Wow. Wow, that was, I did not see that coming.
But
I did not see that. But I mean, that's actually a
anyways.
good point, right? In the sense that of all the batters, he's the one who seemed, from the first test to now, like we've kind of were worried about him kind of losing his patience or trying one too many things. But this is probably the first series where, from game one to game four, he has shown the exact same application in every innings. He has taken his time in every innings. He has defended the balls or left balls in every innings. He has put away the loose balls in every innings, which is something that I admire, in the sense that consistency, right? Consistency is what you require from a top order batsman, and patience. Tehrav, as you said, the patience is definitely coming through from him as the senior batter in the team. Definitely, right? He's one of the oldest top order batsmen in the team currently. So he has definitely
Yep.
shown his place, and it was nice to see Shubman Gill partnering him in a similar vein, right?
No, for sure. Yeah, especially after like bloopers in the last three innings. Gill had to
Yeah.
stand up. Before we get to Gill,
But
I'd probably, want
yeah.
to address certain Sai Sudarshan and all of the antics that he did before coming on to bat. Only to get out or replicate the fashion in which like Gambhir got out, almost like, uh, Gambhir is probably last test or like, dude, that is the funniest way to get out. Like, how do you get out trying to pull out of a shot that you were trying to offer, man? But
Very, I
yeah,
think
again,
that
this
just
probably
shows
is not going
indecision.
to. Yeah, sure. And again, I was going to say it's probably not going to cost him his sort of, T spot in the team. He scored like a hard fought 60 odd runs in the first innings, just enough to cover his ass. But it's like, dude, like you've been given chances. And this is a chance equal and for all, like to show that, to show what you're made of, and, to actually prove and contribute to like, to the cause. You come. And this is, was it first test match? Yeah, I'm pretty sure this was first test match. Again, there's probably 1 or 2 overs to go, and Sudarshan got out.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
was,
yeah.
I think, this is first test match. And then he does
First
the
innings,
same again
first
now.
innings,
I'm
first innings.
like, dude, for heaven's sake, do not do trying to do something crazy like, I don't know. But I'm at this point in time, I'm like tired. I'm like, God, like, this no longer surprises me. But yeah.
No, I mean it was definitely something that was, I mean, inexperience, indecisiveness, maybe like both of them. But I mean, there was one interesting point that Ashwin kind of brought up in his analysis piece, which I found very interesting to one have him have such a perspective, and two, to see how deeply he analyzes the game. He said throughout the 150, 160 odd overs that England batted, Yashasvi and Gill were kind of the close in fielders, short leg, whatever, and silly point, and all of those. So they were the close in fielders. So, and they were not rotated out of it. So the fact that they were close in, they never got to switch off or kind of relax, take a mental break, and come back. They almost were forced to concentrate throughout. And as a young player, as somebody who's not used to so much kind of, I mean, they are used to concentrating, there's no doubt. But this is
But yeah,
maybe
that is what
stretching
test
it a
match is
little
all
too
about,
far.
right? You got to
No, that's true. That's You're very true. But I think this is something you learn with time, right? I mean, one, he's
with time,
coming
as you
off
play
a.
more and more test matches, as you actually go through more and more such sessions, is when you learn it. Unfortunately, there is no other way you learn it.
No, that's. I mean, that's the point. Like, it was a very interesting observation, which I would have never in a million years thought about.
Oh
But
no, I don't
I
think
was
so
like,
either.
hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, firstly, because I'm not a batter. Firstly, because I'm not a batter. And two, like, I mean, I hadn't noticed those patterns, but it's very nice to see that there are so many dimensions into
No
analyzing a
answers that
sport
go into,
that
yeah,
just.
sure. Exactly.
Yeah. So, but I mean, coming back to the fact that the Indian team, especially KL and Gill, the way they played out the first day, two sessions where, and they were not bogged down. It wasn't like they were literally playing for time, kind of defending, like not trying to score, no intent. They put away the bad balls, they put away the loose deliveries, they defended the good balls solidly, left away the good balls outside off. They showed immense application and talent, ability to actually forge that 180 run partnership, which was something we were all craving for, or waiting to see if this version of the Indian team can do what our their predecessors had done. Like something like a Lakshman and Dravid, or somebody like a Gambhir at one point, even Ashwin, Pujara, the grit and determination they had. Can this Indian crop do it? And like I think they showed that and much more in the second innings, right?
For sure. Yeah. I mean, no two doubts about it. But honestly, as we probably began the call by saying this, after those two quick wickets, man, I thought we would just crumble below 100. I'll be honest. I was probably saying this to some of my friends around as well. No, not even the thought ever crossed me that we can, get out of this. The only thing I kept saying was, we just probably need to go get through session per session. And I even said that even at the end of day four, where, KL and Gill got us to 160 odd, I said that even if these two stay until T on day five, I would still not feel good about it. Like, because that last session, that 2.5 hours of session after tea on day five, you can like crumble within a span of 10 hours and be like all that for nothing kind of a thing. So I was like, no, I still, yeah, I mean, I still didn't really trust them,
I mean, we
I
did
trusted
see
them
that
after
happen
end
in
of day four.
Melbourne, right? No, we did
Like,
see that happen in
yeah, agree.
Melbourne, right?
Yeah. But then it's such rarity, of this happening that, and especially the way we got off to a start or did not get to a start, sort of, made it even difficult to believe and hope that, this would, go anywhere. But boy, oh boy, like, great fight back. Uh, yeah, couldn't say much. I was definitely disappointed with the fact that we began day five and then, like, KL got out. Arguably, he, as he always does, got a world-class delivery. The ball didn't really bounce much, and he always gets one. Uh, And he started to walk. Like, he knew right away, like he didn't probably wait for the umpire. He was like plumb. But a lot of that spell of Stokes. Oh my God! I remember seeing the stat was 8 overs, one made and 12 runs in one wicket. Crazy! What a spell! If at all we started to feel comfortable, Stokes came in, rattled us and unsettled us. Like he's like there is no way you are feeling any comfortable without facing my heat. He sort of amped it and like took us, yes, did shook us, I would say. But then unfortunately, there is as much gas he had left, and couldn't really come back to bowl after.
Actually, like a small thing that even Stokes mentioned later was that from one end, for righty batsmen, from the end that Stokes bowled essentially, for righty
Mhm.
batsmen, there was a length, like there was a patch around good length, uh, outside off stump or fourth stump, where the ball was kind of bouncing variably. It was coming in, there were cracks there, it was bouncing, it was not bouncing. That was the spot which essentially where the ball pitched and like stayed low and came in for
Mhm.
KL. And that is the same area where Gill got hit one on the hand, a couple like didn't bounce, he got lucky to defend them or get bad on ball. The thing which unknowingly or maybe knowingly, I don't know, helped India is the fact that Jadeja and Washington, both of them were lefties. The fact that they were
Lefty didn't really,
lefties,
yeah,
that spot, yeah, that spot was essentially a not, no use spot for them. And similar spot did not exist outside the off stump for them. There was probably one way where England could have gotten them out, which was the rough, and then the left arm spinner kind of bowling in that rough to make it uncertain, which Liam
correct.
Dawson, I
But Liam
think, as
Dawson
you
didn't
rightly
really
said,
exploit
missed the
that as
spot.
much. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
you even remember like Ben Stokes having that conversation with Liam Dawson during tea or day five, where he was showing him exactly
He's
what
asking him
where
to
he
like, yeah,
should
pitch
have
it up
been.
and yep.
Yeah. But I mean, all of this aside, like not taking anything away from KL for his 80 odd, it is unfortunate he couldn't get his 100. He deserved one, like absolutely.
He deserved
And
one for sure. Yep.
Shubman Gill, yeah, and Shubman Gill getting his 100, like captain's knock. I mean, if we are being so effusive about Ben Stokes, we should be the same about
Yep.
Shubman
Yep.
Gill
Yep.
because that was a captain's.
Yeah. The fact that, he made amends to his sort of, technique, we felt like we were starting to see the Gill from the first two test matches. He looked pretty solid until he got out. Having said that, I realized they did drop him almost twice. They dropped him twice, and then he also got away uh, with a very close LBW appeal, which was the umpire or third umpire qualified it as like
Yeah.
inconclusive evidence, like they weren't sure if the ball hit the bat first or ball first. But yeah, those two drop chances did definitely cost England, which just again goes on to show that how important catches are. The fact that they even dropped Jadeja in the very first ball of Jadeja's innings also shows that consistently throughout this series, whichever team has dropped the most catches in the game has been on the court, like has been on the losing end. Like for sure, this definitely feels like a loss for England. So
Yeah.
just goes on to show how important, like, catches are, and how you need to like grab onto them as and when they come.
No, absolutely. That's actually very well put. In the second test that India won, England dropped a bunch of chances of our batsmen, which
Exactly.
definitely enabled
Yep.
us to score. So it's a fair analysis, and that worked in our favor. But again, like taking nothing away from the fact that, uh, like you had
Yeah, again,
Jadeja
exactly.
and
I agree
Washington
with you.
Sundar.
Yep.
Washington got a promotion at number 5 when Pant was injured. So he showed
Which
that
was,
he
yes.
belongs in that, yeah, in that level. And both of them, I mean, so beautiful, so calm, so composed. Like they played out best part of two
Chanceless.
and a half
There is,
sessions.
they didn't, best part of 2.5 sessions and chanceless, I would say. I don't think, of course, Jadeja did get dropped of the first ball of his innings. Otherwise, Uh, no edges, no carries, pretty chanceless. Of course, they would have gotten, beaten here and there now and then, but not really something,
Yeah.
that shook them. And yeah, but for Stokes, even England's, bowlers looked tired and, didn't really have much to, offer and, offer any kind of threat. So I could safely say that both Jadeja and Washi just cruised along. They did see a lot of overs out, which they rightfully had to before they sort of opened up and started scoring some runs. They are probably like scoring at sub 30 strike rate until good part of day five, and not until after tea they sort of opened up and actually started to score runs, I
Really,
would say.
is that what? Because I thought
I
in the
was
lunch and tea session, although they were going slowly, I still thought they put away some of the bad balls even then.
They did, yeah, exactly. They did put away bad balls. Otherwise, they didn't really, go after the bowling or so as much. They were
Yeah.
pretty sort of, guarded and like saw, more importantly, saw the session through, got to tea without doing
Yeah.
something crazy. So we'll probably, we'll definitely take that.
No, I mean absolutely right. To the fact that this Indian batting lineup again, which was we are unsure, we're going with that extra batsman, we want that cushion all of the way. To see two of your all rounders score hundreds and battle out time in such a difficult situation, I am sure this has to give the team management confidence to say, okay, the batting is sorted, or if it is not, like this is the best we have. Let's try to give them the responsibility, let them do their thing. Let's try to, for the last test, let's kind of work on getting a bowling attack which can take 20 wickets. We'll maybe talk about that in the review for
Yep.
the next test. But it, I mean, I don't want to dwell too much, or I don't want to talk much about what I genuinely
The
felt
incident.
was bad sportsmanship. Yeah, 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 bad sportsmanship, because I'm sure it's been spoken about all over. The only thing I wanted to say is, y- just as courtesy, if somebody is driven you to the ground and earned their right to score the 100, in no world is it fair to say, oh, why do you need to score 100? Like, what's the point of scoring the 100? Dude, no matter what, they've fought, they've worked hard. When it, I mean, yeah, that's the only thing I want to say. That
Yeah, no, I agree.
you
It was
cannot have
petty,
different
and
standards for
that.
two.
Yeah, exactly. It was petty for sure. All I was going to, add up and say was, yeah, it was petty behavior. I think, they were just at the end of their wits. We had frustrated and toiled them for like almost 5.5 sessions. It just got to them. Ben Stokes did acknowledge in the post-match interview slash conference that, hey, our batters did really well and then see out. Yeah, I mean, again, pretty not to, we should probably not dwell much on it. It's sort of trying to, just taking the charm out of the game. So we would, just sort of, leave it there and be like, um, I, I don't know if they would be given another chance and trying being in the same spot again, would they do something different? I really doubt. I don't think so. They are going to, do anything different. But I mean, yeah, it was, definitely disrespectful after the fact that, they made Brook ball and they were just like tossing the ball up and, trying to do all kind of theatrics and childish behavior, but nonetheless, we would take it. I don't know. This sort of occurred to me after had Jadeja should probably have come up with a response saying that instead of saying, "Hey, what do you want me to do?" When Ben Stokes said, "Hey, do you want to like score a century off of Brooks falling?" He could have very well been like, I don't mind facing you or Jofra, like bring them on." That would have rubbed it onto them way more than not saying much. But yeah, but again, yeah, well fought.
Yeah,
What
but
a
I mean,
victory, and
it's essentially
yeah,
like a, yeah, well earned 100 first for Washington Sundar. I think it's a great milestone for him. Jadeja definitely, like as you said, like 6,900 odd runs. Like he's definitely like he is
getting
he
there. Yep.
has those numbers, or maybe he'll get to that point where everybody will acknowledge the greatness of a Ravindra Jadeja as an all-rounder.
Yep.
Definitely a batsman at this point in his career. So yeah, it bodes well that again, like two of our batsmen, like lower order, are kind of looking so good, where they could contribute in the last test, because I think India needs everyone to contribute to level this series and retain the Anderson Tendulkar trophy, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You put it right way. We are definitely in a better mindset overall, even though we have some tired legs out there. The fact that we are mentally in a good space, and this sort of innings have given us a lot of confidence. Even though we are tired as much as the English sort of lineup, we definitely show up better and like put a stronger fight, as compared to what we saw in this match.
Yeah, I mean, all in all, um, yeah, I mean, it was a not the best pitch, I'll say, because I mean, even in the last day, it was proving difficult to dismiss the batsman, which does
Yep.
not kind of look good, but it is what it is. I think, I mean, England definitely like fought hard. India fought hard. I think the Indian bowling was not up to the mark. Like I'm not gonna
Yeah.
sugarcoat that. So, but uh, Gautam Gambhir did say every bowler is fit, pacer is fit for the next game. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in the next game. Hopefully we can refresh it. But yeah, any final thoughts before we leave?
Uh, no, not really. I think we've discussed through the innings, sort of great details. All in all, I would say, we finished this test match on a strong note. Although we drew the test match, it definitely feels victory, and it is definitely a bigger mental blow for England than us. Which again, as I mentioned, the fact that it's probably going to make them sort of make it difficult for them to sort of recover and come back for the fourth or sorry fifth test match. So it's going to be like a good series decider in a way, in the sense that we still have a chance to, win the test match and draw the test series. So I would definitely be looking forward to it. And the fact that we effectively have just 2 more days to go, I am, just like rubbing my hands and, all excited to get through and, start the fifth test match. So, yeah, I just say, yeah, thanks all for
Yeah,
joining.
I mean, likewise. Yeah, yeah.
Leave us
I
your
mean,
reviews and
likewise.
comments and see,
I share the excitement. Yeah, absolutely. Do leave, like, share, and subscribe. And yeah, I mean, looking forward to the next, yeah, the test match.
till the next time, guys. Peace.
Okay.